Welcome back to the BHAW Army Wrestling Radio Podcast. We're here with you with episode 50. So I'm co-hosted with Ty Reedy. Welcome, Ty.
Hey.
And today we've got two recent graduates. We got Ryan Hetrick, team captain, and Nico Manzanelli. So these guys were recently awarded the Lincoln Laboratory Military Fellowship. So I wanted to go ahead and have them on the show and talk a little bit about kind of receiving that, kind of all the background. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so it looks like you guys are up at West Point right now.
Yep. We actually just got done with a practice with the young guys, so they're here for a PIAD. So we're hopping in there for the next few weeks until we head off to Boston for graduate school.
Nice. Was that was it like a mass athletics kind of thing, or are they still in Beast? Or what's the latest?
Yeah, they're still in Beast. The new cadets just went out to Lake Frederick for their last week. What we're doing right now is we're helping the incoming Yucks, I guess. They're doing like a PIAD, so they're training twice a day for the next 10 days before reorg week starts. So they're kind of having us go in there and wrestle with you guys. So it's kind of fun to get back on the mat a little bit.
Now, what kind of training are they doing? Like two a days? I mean, is it like super focused and intense, or is it like coming in and rolling, or more a technique? Because that wasn't a thing when I was there, like this 10-day PIAD.
I mean, me and Ryan both did PIADs like that. I think I did 2 of them,
Yeah.
And they mix it up. It's just a good training cycle where a lot of times in the afternoon you'll wrestle hard, and then in the mornings it'll be technique. But of course, they switch it up. Like tomorrow morning, they're doing something at a track that's under coach's wraps right now.
Is everybody working out at the same time, or is it kind of like pick and choose different workouts, or people individualize it?
No, it's everyone at the same time. Full team practices, or the team that's here.
Very cool.
How many guys are there?
We got I think 12 or 13 guys there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's get kind of a jump start in the school year. It's just a good training cycle for them, and it helped us out a lot. Coach Ward likes to do these training cycles in the summer because they really do help, in the season, I think. So it's pretty cool that we're starting to implement that more.
Yeah. We'll get into the, culture change academically here in a second, but just that right there, and we can talk about this in another episode, BHAW or with Ward, but just having those touch points as a team, even if it's just classes as a team throughout the summer, because when I was there, it's just season was over and you're done, you're going off to your summer stuff. That was it. But there was no formal stuff like that. Anyway, I just think it's just another factor in the culture change for the better that we've seen with the team. But off topic. But the reason we're talking to you guys is you have super big brains. Okay, and talk to us about this Lincoln Laboratories, why you wanted to go after this, how it all happened, and then where you're at now.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go first. So I never really had a vision of getting a Lincoln Laboratory scholarship my whole time here. It's just kind of something that my teachers, mentioned to me. They said to be competitive for it. So I did a thesis my junior year with one of my.
What were your majors?
Engineering management for me.
And systems engineering for me. So we're in the same department.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did a thesis just in case I wanted to apply for it. And then I remember Nico and I were actually taking the GRE. It's a graduate exam. And we took that in September because we thought we were gonna have to use it to get into graduate school. And it turns out, they kind of waived it because of COVID. And then for me personally, I wasn't going to apply. It was the deadline for it was in December. I ended up getting COVID at the end of October. And unfortunately that kind of ended my collegiate career. That's a story for another time, but I wasn't wrestling at the time. So I just said, I guess I'll apply for the scholarship, and I think it'd be really cool. Maybe something I'd want to do. I branched cyber as my branch. So I applied for it. I put a lot of work into my application, and I just kind of hoped for the best. And then, I got into MIT. So I thought this would be a really cool opportunity, and I took it.
What about you, Nico? What drove you to it?
Yeah, pretty similar story. Like I didn't really know what to deal with like graduate school scholarships or fellowships was like coming out of West Point. I knew it was a possibility when I got here because Dave Farr, of course, like he graduated 2017, went and did his thing, was cyber officer. And I knew that was a thing, but I never felt like I was working toward it. I just kind of like kept my grades up because I could and wrestled. And then around my junior year, I started getting involved more in the department, helping out with research, like found a really great academic like research mentor. And then, yeah, going into that summer, going into my senior year, teachers reach out to you to say, maybe you be competitive for this, maybe take the GRE, see where you fall. And then it just happened to come together, started using some contacts I built through the department and writing my essays and putting my resume together. And I applied to school and I got in. And then the way it works for the Lincoln Labs Fellowship, you apply to like a Boston area graduate school, pretty much anyone you want to. And then once you get accepted to school, then you are allowed to apply for the fellowship. So it's like a two-part process for this fellowship that we got. So once I got into school, I was like, yippee, time to apply for the fellowship. And then I ended up getting the fellowship. So I was pretty thankful for that.
What's the timeline for the application to the graduate schools? Like, is that like first semester, first year, or is that like later? Or
Yeah.
I'm thinking far as timeline is like, you may have some plebes or yucks that, tuning into this that are on the wrestling team. I don't know. Who knows if they ever, they could look at a hashtag that we put in there on the Instagram post and maybe it filters into them and they see it. They're like, I'm trying to like enable. So if people want, if they're listening into this, they can get ahead of it and they don't make a mistake of maybe like waiting too long to get into it.
I think I'll take this one. So a lot of the work comes when you don't really think you're working toward graduate school. A lot of it just comes from, I'm really interested in this academic portion of my major and I'm going to like chase that. Right. And then as you like start to apply your education some more, then you start to pick up cool experiences and it makes the second part a little bit easier. So the second part, when like you should really start worrying about applying, I'd say is maybe your second semester of your Cal year, your junior year, then you really start to consider like, is this an option or not? And you just kind of want to get your like ducks in a row there. Like maybe check the boxes. If you don't have like a good summer experience, shoot for a summer experience that summer. If you haven't really put your name on any good research projects, try to get on one that second semester of your Cal year, or at least make sure you're set up to get on a really good one in your first year. And then during that summer going into your first year, try and take the GRE because that's a huge thing for graduate schools. Especially the technical scholarships that a lot of folks like engineering majors have been getting. You gotta make sure your quant score is up on that. And then applications really aren't due until like December or January.
Yeah, December 15th was both of mine for Harvard and MIT. So that's the hard line, I guess.
That's the hard line. But that first semester, your first year, is when you start like putting your resume together, writing your personal statements,
getting letters of recommendation,
stuff like that. And it's not just like ooh, I wrote my personal letter thing. It takes a lot of time, like bouncing it back and forth. I mean, me and Ryan read each other's a couple times, stuff like that. So it takes a pretty big chunk of your first semester, your first year, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
So
even if you don't get it, I'd say just the whole process of preparing a resume, writing my personal statement, trying to like get my goals in line, like create a little vision for myself for the future was like a really healthy, really good practice.
So Ryan settled on a tier 2 school called MIT. I never really heard of it, but so Nico, where are you going?
I'm going to Harvard for data science next semester.
Oh, another tier 2 school. Okay, yeah. You guys settled.
In preparation for the podcast, I watched Good Will Hunting last night. So.
Hey, you like apples?
That's funny. That's awesome, guys. Hey, well, first, congrats. It's a complete culture change from when I was there. So here's the story about how we were told to choose a major. So I was part of Coach Barbie's first recruiting class, so his first full year there, and he brings us all in. So he brings us in Yuck year, because then back then, was it Yuck year? Yeah, Yuck year. I think you decided on a major, and so he brings us all in, sits us down, and he brings in the head OR, Colonel who was it? Bureau Palka, brings in Palka, and they're like, listen, guys. Wrestling's hard enough. This is almost verbatim. Wrestling's hard enough. It's tough enough. You got two choices. Human geography, which Palka was the department head, or systems engineering. And back then it was FOS, a field of study. So I don't even know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So apparently we took like 3 less classes than getting a major. I don't even know why they did away with it. Obviously it was useless. But he's like, those are your two choices. Go, because those are the easiest ones out there. And so so between going from that to now, where like every year it seems like somebody on the team is getting an insane scholarship to Harvard, MIT, Oxford, whatever. It just so that was the mindset when BHAW and I were there. At BHAW, I'm assuming it was kind of the same.
I was a human
Like
geography.
guys, huh?
I was a human geography major.
Yeah. So there you go. So if knowing that, guys, what do you think? What is it that maybe describe the culture now? You guys aren't outliers, right? You mentioned David Farr. Like, so what is it? Are the coaches pushing it hard? Is it, hey, I saw David do it, so I know it's a possibility, or is it a mixture? Talk about that.
So what I would say, what Coach Ward tells me is like, if you put a lot of effort like on the mat and you're really focused, like it like bleeds over into other places in your life, whether it's in school, with your family. So we just kind of had like that mindset, just like give everything you got in like all aspects of your life. I don't know. We kind of like preach here that like this team is more than just like a wrestling team on the mat. And, we give everything we have in this room, but what we do outside of this room is just as important. So we kind of just be like as well-rounded as we can, whether that's in school or in like military, with like our family relationships. So it's just kind of like that attitude that you're going to like bring everything you have in like all aspects of your life. So we didn't like, cut slack in school and just like give everything we had in the wrestling room. We did both. I know it was pretty rewarding to see that. And a lot of the guys like we have on the team now have like really good grades and are like, looking to maybe do like scholarships and stuff. David Farr was, we mentioned him earlier, was kind of like the pioneer for us. I remember he would pick us up from mass athletics when we were new cadets. And people were like, yeah, you got a scholarship. He's going to Europe. I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I could ever do that someday, but it'd be kind of cool to do that. So it's just kind of like that. It's like that breakthrough thing is what he kind of set for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think the coaches are going to push us to do what we could do, push us to make ourselves the best we can on the mat and in the classroom, no matter what. But just slowly but surely, more wrestlers getting more into the academic side of things. I was fortunate enough, Pat Mayola was in my company. So when he went on to med school, I just, I saw that, and it was just, he was a great role model for me too. Dave, guys like that. And then, like I said earlier, there's a ton of guys on the team who keep the grades really high. Sean Fitzsimons, our classmate, would have been just as competitive as me and Ryan for the same fellowship, but he just really wanted to go do the Army thing. And he had research and he had summer experiences too that tied in with his research. It's just one of those things, I think, over time, as more and more people do it, the team sees and the younger guys see that's like, it's important to keep your grades up, and that sort of thing. Applying yourself and your education matters in the long run.
So what geared you guys towards those? Like Ryan, you mentioned, that David Farr, he went to Europe and did that one. Like, what gravitated you towards these ones and not maybe some of the abroad ones?
Well, for me, it was just I applied too late. I didn't have my mind made up totally, and it wasn't until like I stopped wrestling. I guess late October, where I was like, all right, this is something that I definitely want to do now. Send in my application, because if you want to do the abroad ones, you have to send them in earlier. So I didn't even really have that option when I fully had my mind made up. So.
Yeah, I was looking at a couple different ones. So the way the scholarship programs work at West Point now is they have this XH program, which you take a class for, and it's basically like a resume and personal statement building class. But to be able to do that program, you have to interview it into it and fill out like another resume. You do that your first semester, your Cal year. And if you're in the XX program, that's the only way that you can be competitive for like a Rhodes Scholarship or the Knight Hennessy Scholarship,
Marshall,
yeah.
Stuff
like that. So the big overseas ones. And then on the technical side of things, that's what me and Ryan did. There's the technical scholarship program. And that's for like STEM majors who have high grades and research and stuff like that, who are interested in going to graduate school, but maybe didn't make it into the XH program. That was me. I interviewed for that XH program and I got told no twice. So I applied for it, didn't get interviewed, applied for it again, got interviewed and got told no. So I was like, all right, I'll just take down the technical scholarships. And that's what I did. And then there's like 2 big technical scholarships you could win. The one that me and Ryan got, and then also the Draper Fellowship, which is also in Boston. Then you just drop your name in the hat and get your applications ready and go for it. And so I applied for both, and for both like big technical scholarships, and I got Lincoln Labs. So I'm pretty happy about it.
So you're both were engineering majors. Is this a follow on to like your engineer? You're gonna just get a master's in some type of engineering discipline, or?
Yeah, so Nico and I's like graduate schools are gonna be like a little different. I'm gonna be studying technology and public policy, and I'm gonna really focus on like the policy end of it. So he is gonna do a little bit more of a technical background. He can talk to you about what he's gonna do. He's gonna do more like data science. So
Yeah.
So Ryan, whatever you can do to stop these robocalls and to get my extended warranty, if you can do that, I'll consider you a success. If not, you failed.
yeah.
That's all I know. Technology. Fine. And then okay, so you got that, and then Nico, what are you going to study?
Yeah, I'm getting a master's in science and data science. Yeah, that field of study goes by a lot of different terms. Probably like analytics is what you've heard. A lot of schools don't even have data science programs. It's tied into the business school and it's business analytics. But Harvard's data science program is relatively new. I think it's 2 or 3 years old.
So I have 2 questions. I'll do the one right now, but how competitive is it like across the globe of people that apply for these versus are accepted? Just so listeners can kind of understand,
Yeah, so
what it means for you guys to get that.
MIT's was super competitive. I really didn't think I was going to get in. The acceptance rate, especially for inside the United States, is like so low. I don't know what it is, but we had a Zoom call with everyone that's going to be in my class at MIT. I think there was like 45 or 50, and there were only like 4 Americans. And, you have to bring something to the table. Like MIT and Harvard are schools that like, you have to bring something to the table that makes us like unique and makes us, when you have your career down the road, that would like make us proud kind of. So they had, on the Zoom call, people from Brazil and England and Australia doing all these different kinds of things, like really, I don't know, inspiring stories I had. And then, I was there, I guess, kind of representing the Army, and that was kind of my story. So I know MIT's and Harvard, they were both extremely like competitive. It's interesting because, so we both I applied to Harvard as well. And then Nico also applied to MIT. And it was weird because I got denied to Harvard, and then he got denied to MIT, and then he got accepted to Harvard. I got accepted at MIT. So it just kind of depends on like what they were looking for. So.
Yeah, I think so. Within West Point, there's like 1,000 kids in our graduating class. I can't tell you how many were in that technical scholarship program. The email distro was probably at like 44 at its highest.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of kids got a bunch of different ones, but I could tell you, I just counted when I was looking at my phone. We have a group chat. There'll be 13 second lieutenants in Boston next semester. And for my program at Harvard, I think it was like a 4.9 acceptance rate, just flat out, like not West Point kids, but just out of everyone that applied, 4.9 acceptance rate. So it's pretty competitive, but yeah.
That's incredible, guys. I mean, just now being out of the Army for a little bit, just the way you guys are setting yourself, whether you should make a career out of the Army or not, just having these degrees is just going to be incredible for yourself personally, for the alumni, the West Point brotherhood out there, you know, because you're going to take this experience on, and well, first of all, the guys on your team are going to look up to you just like you did David Farr, and it's you guys. I know it. You can't even comprehend what you're about to, how well you're about to set yourself up. Like it's pretty incredible and impressive. So congrats again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. You had another question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, if a couple knuckleheads like me and Ryan can do it, I think honestly anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So it's competitive, but if me and Ryan can do it, really anyone can do it. You just gotta apply yourself in your education.
Yeah, no, I'm just still amazed at the culture change, because it might be academy wide too, though. I don't know. Of course, I would have never known if these opportunities existed in the first place. I had no business even sniffing that, but I think, you know, just the culture change on the team, like we talked about before, like we were just there to get by and wrestle, like, and graduate. Like that was the goal. So anyway, I can keep going on about it, but BHAW, you said you had a second question.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess for listeners and also myself, as far as like the tangible benefits. So like, how will you use, like, how do others use these degrees like after your Army career? Like what are the tangible benefits? Obviously, other than like impressing people that I got a graduate degree from MIT or Harvard. You know, how does that excel maybe your future career aspirations? Like if you're, you know, possibly later degrees, like in the military, if you plan on staying in, or if you transition from the military, you know, how does that further maybe your development career-wise from what your goals are?
So for me, I guess like after the Army, like I'm pretty interested in like where business, like where technology and policy like intersects. So you look at something like Tesla, right? They're kind of like an emerging field, and you have to have the right policies, things like that. I really like the business aspect of things. I think like in my short-term career after the Army, and then later down the road, I do see myself getting into politics. And that's where the policy end of it comes. There's a few graduates from the MIT Technology and Public Policy program, like in Congress and Senate and stuff like that. So I could see myself doing that further down the road. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like my career path that I'd like to see happen after the Army.
So when you're President Hetrick one day, is you know, Mr. BHAW going to be, you know, part of the cabinet? Can there be negotiations toward that?
Yeah, you could be with public relations.
The presidential podcast.
Yeah.
That actually exists. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh,
No, I didn't know.
There's a podcast called Presidential. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'll
That's
check
Not
it.
that we're not giving anybody shout outs unless they want to pay for sponsorship. But no, I'm joking. It's pretty cool. They go through like each of the presidents in a more like personal sense. I think Washington Post like put it out. I like U.S. history, so I didn't listen to all of them, but I probably did. I got through like 10 of them. I should probably go back and listen to some, but
Check
just
it out.
just a little sidebar.
well, it's gonna be Ryan Hetrick 2048.
Yeah.
I think that's the timeline I put on.
Let's see.
What about you, Nico?
What about you?
Yeah, as far as like my career goes, I'm really interested in coming back and teaching at West Point, and like within the systems department or the math department, and being a wrestling OR, just like giving back in that way. And then like private sector, so it's a degree in analytics basically. So anything in that field I could apply it to. Like my passion really lies in sports analytics. So I would love to do, like, if I could live the movie Moneyball, that would be sick. That'd be really fun. And sabermetrics is its whole like separate field of math and analytics, but something like that.
That's awesome.
Man, things have definitely changed at West Point a little bit. So just so the listeners know, you know, this is August 2nd, also a little current events. Scott Greene was hired on as the associate head coach today. It got released on Internet. So if you guys, I know you guys were involved in the interview process a little bit. Was that because of your academic prowess, or what's the backstory on that?
No, so technically, like I'm an intern AI for just a few weeks before I go to Boston, and Nico's here working with the systems engineering department just for a few weeks. So what Coach Ward did was he took us all out to lunch with like the applicants, and that also includes the other AIs like Bobby Heald, Bo Guffey, Will Lucy, Bennett Paulson, and we ate lunch with the applicants, and just we kind of just asked them questions, had some like, small talk, laughed and stuff, just kind of, we're trying to feel them out. Because Coach Ward took all the applicants, showed West Point, talked about the program, and then, he sat in the office and they talked about things for quite some time. So we got a pretty good gauge on like all the applicants that were coming in. So it wasn't just like us, Nico and I, it was like all of the athletic interns.
So what kind of impression did Greene make? What were your thoughts on him after that lunch?
I think he's a very like credible coach. He has like, I know he originally started up like at Binghamton. He kind of built that program up from like the bottom, and now he was just at Wyoming Seminary, and he has just a very like great talent of like bringing really good kids in. He sells like that school really well, and he's just like Coach Ward says, he's just a winner. He knows what he's doing, and he like has a lot of a good history with wrestling, and he's actually originally from my area too, so I talked about that a lot with him. He's from Buffalo. So yeah, I think it's a great hire for us, and I think he's going to lead our program in the right direction, as he's done before with many other programs. He's just very credible, so I think that was, a good reason why.
I mean, if you can convince a 14-year-old kid and his parents to pay $60,000 a year to go to high school, then imagine what you can do for a 18-year-old kid to come here and get paid to wrestle or get paid to go to college.
Yeah.
Right. So I think he'll be a good add to the team. Great add.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm super pumped. Those are all the questions I had on this. I mean, I know you guys' time is precious up there. They probably got you hard at work in the different departments.
Well, so let's close it out. What's your timeline? So you said a couple weeks, and then what? You report to grad school, and then is it a 1-year condensed program? Is it 2-year? What's the?
Yeah, so I leave here this Friday. My parents are driving up, and we're gonna move into our apartment. Nico and I are gonna live together right in Cambridge. So I go to school for 2 years. I guess I graduate in May of 2023. So we'll be up there together for 2 years, and then we're gonna go right into Cyberbullock. I'm guessing probably in June of 2023. So that's.
Is there an ADSO incurred on this, or does your time, like your service, start then, or how does the pay and all that stuff work as far as time?
Yeah. So it's actually a really, really sick deal. We get paid second lieutenant pay while we're there, and of course our tuition's paid for. And then we incur a 6-year ADSO for the 2 years of grad school, but we serve it concurrently with our USMA ADSO, which for both of us, because we ran cyber, is 6 years. So that clock will start the day we graduate grad school, and then we just serve both of those ADSOs at the same time.
So it's 2 years of school and then 6 years of service.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine who did the same thing, not the same thing, but a similar scholarship, to where he said, it basically just added the way I remember he described is he just those two years that he was in school, like, just didn't count toward service, is the way I took it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot different. One of my college roommate went to medical school, and he went out to medical school in LA, and you weren't getting paid as a second lieutenant. You got like a stipend, and it wasn't enough. And he, basically had to take like a loan out just to live, while he was in med school. So, you guys got a sweet gig.
Professional college student will be our job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are gonna love it. I mean, I don't think you guys. You might have been at the prep, so I was there.
I think I remember you when I came here on my visit, my senior year.
Okay, yeah.
Bobby definitely. I think he went out to like dinner with Bobby and his family.
That's right. Yeah, so I was in the tax, go to Columbia, and it's a condensed 1-year program, and it's a good time. You guys are gonna have a blast for sure. And grad school, you're not gonna know what to do with yourself you're gonna have so much. No one's gonna be knocking on your door. Like you're just gonna be a student full time. Like no soldiers to worry about. Like you guys got
That's what everyone said. So I'm just for a marathon, and hopefully that'll fill up my time.
There you go.
No one will be knocking on your door except for me when I'm coming to visit on the weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Open doors.
All of a sudden, both your families who had never been to Boston before, all of a sudden are going to be like, "Oh yeah, we got a trip planned. We're gonna come see you and crash at your place."
Yeah.
Definitely. Actually, I told you this. My parents are coming every day. So.
All right.
See, it already started.
Yeah.
Are you guys coming back for any of the home football games this year?
Yeah, we're gonna try to make it down for a few.
Yeah. I'm going back for the golf outing, so I'll be hitting the links, playing some golf with the boys, and then whatever home football games we can make it to, I think we're gonna try to.
Yeah, it's a nice little plug for the golf outing for all the listeners out there. Make sure you register, donate. It's the last weekend of September/October. I think it's like October 1st, whatever that Saturday is.
You can
It's
also,
October 2nd.
yeah. You can also
October 2nd, yeah.
coach, and you can indirectly sponsor a
Sponsor a
golfer.
hole.
So if you want to Venmo me, you just go ahead and Venmo me.
Yeah.
Or you can sponsor a hole.
Oh yeah, definitely sponsor a hole
Yeah.
for a coach, or there's an option on there just to donate money. So
Yeah.
Got it. Nice plug, fellas. Well, hey, congrats, you guys. Really impressive. All your hard work is starting to pay off. But enjoy it. You guys are gonna represent the team and the academy well, and really looking forward to keeping in touch with you guys over the years.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you hopping on.
See you, fellas. Be Navy.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in to the BHAW Radio Show. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. If there's something you'd like to hear on a future show, reach out to us on any of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Or you can reach us at email, bhaw.radio@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and as always, go Army, be Navy.